Hey guys, what is going on? My name is NoJ456, and today we're going to be going through how to upgrade the Kraken, not only just from the regular Kraken to the Pack-a-Punch Kraken, which is very easy, you just throw it into the Pack-a-Punch, but once you do Pack-a-Punch it, you can actually upgrade the Kraken into 4 different elemental types. It is absolutely insane. Each one has their own properties. I'll be talking a little bit about each and every one of those, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the 3 parts that spawn on the map that you have to collect before you do this. So in order to get started with this, what you need to do is go ahead and activate the artifact in order to open up the entire map. A lot of the map is sealed off until you activate that artifact, so go ahead and do that. And you will obviously have to have a Kraken and Pack-a-Punch open as well for this. So go ahead, start collecting those Pack-a-Punch as you're collecting the rest of the parts that I'm about to show you guys, and then obviously start hitting the box until you get the Kraken, because you will obviously need the Kraken in order to Pack-a-Punch it, and then you will be able to elementally upgrade it once you have a Pack-a-Punch Kraken. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first part is right here at the very beginning of the Titanic, pretty much right where you spawn in. What you need to do is once you've activated the artifact and everything, go ahead and jump down this hole and then make your way down the hallway and jump into the water here. Now there's also a Pack-a-Punch part here, so you can go ahead and grab that while you're here, but from the Pack-a-Punch spot, I'm going to show you guys exactly where the 2 spawn points are for this part. You're going to go ahead and grab that Pack-a-Punch right here, and the first of the part spawns can be right here on the left as you're swimming back out, or the second of which can be right here in the very middle of everything, and you would just have to go ahead and grab that part and make your way back out up to the front deck, and I will show you guys the second part. So the second part also has 2 different spawn points, and it's very close to where the first one spawns. It's right here at the front of the boat. So go ahead, make your way through this door on the right side underneath in the boat to the staterooms. You're gonna check the right side first and check this back chair and see if there's a part spawning there, and if there isn't, make your way through the laundry room and it will be right here on this chair. There's only 2 spawns for this, and they are both in the staterooms. Very easy to get, and that is the second part completed out of 3. So for the third part, the onion pot, make your way to the grand staircase and then either go up or down until you reach the A deck. And once you do, just go right on through to this right door. The first spawn point is right there on that little table. The second spawn point is right there, and it will be a big old onion pot. You'll be able to see it very easily. And that is both of the spawn points for the third part. Once you've collected all of this, you are already good to go, and the next thing you will need is an elemental zombie part. You have everything collected off the map. All you have to do now is kill some elemental zombies. And one more friendly reminder, you will have to have the Kraken Pack-a-Punch, so go ahead, Pack-a-Punch the Kraken, and then we will move on.
Stuff about what I did.
So at this point, you can go ahead and start killing zombies, and eventually these elemental zombies will spawn. Now, each one of these zombies has a chance to drop a little plasma that you can pick up. Now, I'll show you what it looks like right here. These little plasmas on the ground that will allow you to basically craft the ammo of that certain zombie type. Now, there's a fire one, there is an ice one, there is kind of an acid one, and then there is an electricity one, and each one behaves very differently. And obviously, each one you can collect from each and every character that you kill, but once again, it is a random chance to get it, and you will kind of have to search around a little bit. Sometimes it doesn't drop exactly where you killed it, sometimes it drops right on the body, so you just have to look around for it. And once you have one of these plasmas, I'll show you what to do. So once you have all 4 of these parts, you have those 3 parts that we picked up from the map, and then 1 part from one of those zombies. You can make your way down through the provisions room, down to the engine room, where there will be a buildable table there that you can actually craft this. Now, it will cost 6,000 points to go ahead and upgrade your gun, but I will show you right here, it is absolutely worth it. The first one that I crafted here is the acid gun, and it completely refills your ammo for 1, so you can do this multiple times in a round, possibly. If you kill a zombie and then you pick up another plasma, you can go back and use the same pot multiple times over and over and around, as long as you pick up that plasma, or you can upgrade it to a different kind over and over, and it's really potent for going to high rounds. So let me show you one more example of me getting the fire one, just so you understand it. As you can see here, I'm killing a fire zombie right there, and he actually goes down and dies right there. Now, I'm not sure if it's actually that one that dropped it or the one that I'm about to kill that is coming down the stairs right now that you can see in the corner of my screen, but I actually killed that one as well. And then as you can see, a few seconds later, I walk over and you saw a little flash there, and I'm just kind of searching for it. I'm looking for it. It didn't drop exactly where I killed it, but I'm looking around for it. I'm looking, and eventually I find the concentrated plasma on the ground, and I actually pick that up, and that one is actually a skull, and that is the fire one that you get from the fire zombie. So I end up taking that down once again to the boiler room, and then I can go ahead and get that thing crafted right on that engine room, and just be good to go with the new fire upgrade. Now, it's pretty much like this for every single one. The electric zombies I found are pretty darn rare to find, but lucky for you guys, the upgrade for it isn't my favorite. I think the ice one is actually the best, but once again, there's electric, ice, fire, and in this acid one, and I personally think the ice one is the best, but I'm gonna show you gameplay of all of them right now and tell you what I found for my time playing with each one of them. Before we go any further, here's a quick little chart that I deciphered for you guys. Basically, concentrated purity equals a foot. That is a foot in your inventory, and it crafts the ice ammo. Concentrated decay is a green heart in your inventory, and it crafts the acid. Concentrated plasma is a red skull in your inventory, and it is fire. And then concentrated radiance is a yellow hand in your inventory, and it crafts the electric ammo. So this will make it much easier of what I just picked up and what it crafts, because some of them are obvious like the yellow hand, but things like the foot just aren't as obvious, but usually the foot equals the best one in my experience. So getting started with what each of them plays like, basically let's start off with the green one and say that the acid gun is pretty darn good. It's good for wave clearing, it's good if you get into a tight spot. However, my least favorite part about this one is that it actually knocks the zombies over and doesn't kill them. Now, knocking over zombies is very, very similar to how it was in Black Ops 3. Basically, you cannot run past these zombies. They kind of create little blockers on the ground where once you shoot them and you knock them down, they will not hit you, but they'll create a little blocker that sometimes you'll get stuck on. And honestly, it's not the worst one in the world. It's not the worst one out of this pack in my opinion, but it is not the greatest if you're getting up to higher rounds. Like basically on round anything 20 plus, some of these zombies will get knocked down and basically not go down and die instantly, which kind of is a hindrance to this, and it's kind of hard to tell which zombies actually are knocked down and which ones are just dead. So that's my review on that one. Let's go ahead and move on to the fire one. So the fire upgrade is probably my second favorite one. You guys can play for yourself and figure out which one you like the most, but this one's probably my second favorite one, just simply for the fact that even on a higher round, on round 30 compared to the round 22 gameplay I just showed you, this one was basically, instead of knocking the zombies over and making them just land on their back, this was actually creating crawlers instantly instead. So I can instantly tell if there's going to be something blocking my path and not just looking and being like, oh gee, I sure hope that this guy is actually dead and isn't going to block my path. I can tell instantly, and the crawlers are much, much better. And the other thing I really like about it is that it has the initial explosion, and then it also does damage over time to the zombies that do not die instantly. So these crawlers sometimes will bleed out a few seconds later. So basically, it was very similar to the acid one for me, except that it was much easier to tell whenever a zombie was actually dead, and it created those crawlers and killed them over time instead. So that's my review for the fire one. Let's go ahead and move on to the electric. So the electric Kraken was basically my least favorite version of this for a few reasons. Number one is it actually is not an explosion anymore. It's more of a shotgun effect that kind of blows the zombies back, and if it blows them back, it instantly kills them. But sometimes, as you can see right there, it'll blow the zombies over, but they'll actually not die. So it's basically a worse version of the acid gun because you have to be looking directly at the zombies in order to do damage. You can't just shoot it on the ground in front of you and it does damage. You literally have to hit the zombies with it. It was killing the bosses pretty fast, so maybe it does have a higher damage value, but for me, it wasn't worth the risk of running with basically not as much safety just for a little bit more damage versus bosses. So that's my review of that one. Knocked over a lot of zombies, and you had to be very, very like much looking at them. You can just spray randomly and get the kills. So that's my review of that. Let's get on to my favorite one, which is the ice. So the ice was my favorite for a few reasons. Number one, the damage seemed to be very, very consistent with the other ones. It didn't seem to be any weaker or anything like that. And my favorite part about it is actually created a lingering effect on the ground that would slow down zombies that ran into it for a short while. So if you get into a bad situation with this gun, it is absolutely the best one for staying alive. It'll do damage to those zombies over time. It'll keep them in place for a few seconds. The only downside I found to this one over the other ones was it did have a lower ammo count in its magazine. But as you can see right there, I basically two-shot the boss, so it seemed like the damage was just pretty much insane. It created kind of a small vortex where it doesn't actually kill the zombies, but it does slow them down, and any new zombies entering the area will still get slowed down. I was experiencing a little bit of a weird kind of delayed shot effect sometimes, but honestly, it wasn't anything too worrisome to deal with, and just the slowdown of the zombies was absolutely worth it for me. So that's the reason it was my favorite. Maybe you guys might have a different opinion, and again, this was just from one game's worth of playtime. So take my opinions with a little grain of salt. If I have any updated kind kind of listing with anything, I will put it in the description down below, and any useful information coming out about this map, and maybe a free way to get the Kraken like they have the Blunder get on Blood of the Dead. Anything like that will go down in the description below, so make sure you guys are staying tuned to that description and staying subscribed to the channel. That being said, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for coming out to the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe for all the latest tutorials, the Easter egg hunts, everything like that. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, adios, goodbye, have a great rest of your day.